Okay, breakthrough PT marketing thought of the day. Today we're going to handle one of the questions, or actually two of the questions that came up in the webinar. And the first one was regarding bait. How do you find bait for patients, physicians, or the general public? And the other one was about marketing. How do you know what questions to ask? Well, here's the example that I'm going to use. I love to go fly fishing and very scientific about it. I read this book called Midge Magic, which a friend who's an eye surgeon, Dr. Brett Ernst, told me about, and the whole book is premised on, the whole premise of the book is these two scientists walked around here in central Pennsylvania pumping the stomachs of trout that they found all throughout the year. So they created this 52-week plan of what trout eat. Very, very intelligent. You wanted to handle your marketing the same exact way, but the midge is very small. So this is a size 24. It'll be about that big. Getting a little bit of a glare there, but you can see it's extremely, extremely small. It's so small that when you're tying that size of a hook on your line, you have no room for error between getting the line through, like of a 3-pound test, of the eyelid of a hook. So extremely small, but that's what trout are feeding on throughout most of the year. So that is not sexy bait to me, the fisherman, but it's what the trout are eating, and it's many times exactly what they're feeding on, and it's a way to be very successful when fishing. What I want to fish with is this, huge lure that mimics a dying minnow that I, get from Cabela's or what's that other store called? Bass Pro Shop. That costs $15 and it's absolutely amazing. That's for me, the fisherman. I'm not going to catch any fish on that. Okay, I'm not going to catch any trout because that's not what they're feeding on. We want to treat our marketing the same exact way. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing that we do is we survey, and that was brought up today. Is survey the way to find the bait? It is. However, the second part of that is extremely important is you must always be testing, because what I say that I respond to may not be what I really respond to. That's why we have, when people say about, do you play Farmville, or do you play video games, or are you on this Facebook video game, or do you read the National Enquirer? Everybody says no. Or do you eat at McDonald's? Everybody says no. But yet we have billions of people billions of hamburgers being served every year at McDonald's. We have National Enquirer is the #1 most widely read publication in the whole world or the whole country, whatever it is. And Farmville and Clash of Clans and all these other games grow at record rates, because how we respond in a survey isn't always exactly how we respond in a real life test. So you want to get your ideas for your tests from surveys, which is extremely important. You want to nail the language down of what people are responding to or not, but then you want to look at tests and see what people actually do, because what people say they will do is not always exactly what they'll do. And the way that you do that is you have a control, and then you have an experiment group. So if we want to test for, like, let's say we're doing an offer for sciatica. Okay, would you respond more to a free book offer, or a free screening offer? And maybe per our survey, the answer is a free screening offer. But when we do the actual test, and free screening offer is our control, and we pit it against a book, all other things being the same, and the book wins, well, guess what? You have to look at that and say, maybe my survey wasn't right, maybe the wording wasn't right, maybe there was something misunderstood, but my winner is the free book. So I'm going to offer the free book as my pathway for people to come in. There's a very important reference here that I want you to look at. This is a very advanced, but it's called the Robert Collier Letter Book. For any copywriter or any marketer, it is a must-have. It was written, I believe it's the 1920s. I wanted to get the exact date for you. It was published in 1937. And there's one paragraph I want to read here for you. And it says, "You have, we shall assume, decided upon the emotion your letter must arouse in your reader to get him to do as you want. You know that every man is constantly holding a mental conversation with himself the burden of which is his own interest. So when you're writing to a neurologist, those interests are different than when you're writing to an orthopedist or when you're writing to a 65-year-old grandmother who has stenosis. Very different interest, and you want to join in the conversation there. So his own interest, his business, his loved ones, his advancement. And you have tried to chime in on that conversation with something that fits in with his thoughts. But some propositions do not lend themselves readily to this. What are you to do then? Look for the news value. Look for something in or about your proposition of such news interest that it will divert the reader's mind temporarily from his own affairs, then bring it back by showing how your proposition fits in with those affairs or is necessary to the successful accomplishment. How are you to do it? And then he goes through and goes through that exactly. It's in Chapter 3 of the Robert Collier Letter Book. So that's the thought of the day. We're combining the answers for how do we survey, how do we test, and also how do we talk to different target markets. So whether that's a neurologist, a podiatrist, a family physician, or somebody in the general public who doesn't know us yet, or a past patient. There are 5 different answers, and there are infinite answers. The more you segment and the more you get intelligent about that, the better your marketing results are going to be. See you tomorrow.